Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my online classes. This is Om Maths Corner. Today we shall discuss applications of derivatives for the class of 12 subject mathematics. So let us proceed now. Under revision plan, today we shall discuss very important questions of the chapter. Very important questions from previous board exams. So let us start now. Question number 1. Show that f of x is equal to log of sin x is strictly increasing on 0 to pi by 2 and strictly decreasing on pi by 2 to pi. So here firstly we find the derivative of the given function f dash x. This is log sin x mean 1 upon sin of x into derivative of sin x is cos of x, which is equal to cotangent x. Now strictly increasing mean f dash x is greater than 0 in the interval 0 to pi by 2. Strictly greater than 0 mean positive. We can see the table. On this table this is cotangent 0 degree is not defined. Pi by 6 cotangent square root 3 pi by 4 this is 1 pi by 3 at cotangent pi by 3 is 1 upon square root 3, then cotangent 90 degree this is 0. So excluding 0 and pi by 2, cotangent x is positive. So we say f dash x is greater than 0 in 0 to pi by 2. So this implies f of x is equal to log of sin x is strictly increasing on 0 to pi by 2. Similarly, now we see where this derivative is less than 0. Now here f dash x is less than 0 on pi by 2 to pi. How? Again we have the table. This is the table cotangent x. No, after this pi by 2 plus pi by 6, pi by 2 plus something mean to say second quadrant. In second quadrant up to here everywhere cotangent is negative. So cotangent is negative in second quadrant up to pi. Excluding pi by 2 and pi, cotangent x is negative. So what we say, what is the conclusion? F of x is strictly decreasing on pi by 2 to pi. This is the conclusion, right? So this was our question number 1. Now next question. Question number 2. Determine the intervals in which f of x is equal to minus 2x power 3 minus 9x square minus 12x plus 1 is strictly increasing or decreasing. Once again what we do, we find the derivative f dash x. So here this is 3 into 2 minus 6x square minus 9 into 2 minus 18x minus 12, right? Now what we do, we factorize this. For this purpose we take minus 6 common. So we have now x square plus 3x plus 2. Now we make the factors minus 6 into x square plus 2x plus 1x plus 2. So this means minus 6 into we have x plus 2 into x plus 1. These are the factors, right? From these factors we find the zeros. Here 0 we get minus 2. From this linear factor we get the 0 minus 1, right? Now we take the help of the number line. This is the number line. Increasing order of these zeros, that is, first of all we write minus 2, then we have this minus 1. Okay, now because before these intervals, before these factors, there is starting is negative, so we start from negative. Below the x-axis, then we write positive, again we write negative on the number line, right? So this way what happens, the curve will be like this. Of f dash x. So what we see here, f dash x is less than 0 here and here. In here this mean minus infinity, here this mean plus infinity. Minus infinity to minus 2, minus infinity to minus 2, union this minus 1 to plus infinity. So what we say, f of x is strictly decreasing here in these intervals. Okay, similarly we have f dash x is greater than 0, that is positive, in minus 2 to minus 1. So conclusion is f of x is strictly increasing here. Okay, this is the conclusion. Now next question. Question number 3. Show that log of 1 plus x minus 2x upon 2 plus x, where x is greater than minus 1, is an increasing function of x throughout its domain. What is the domain? X greater than minus 1 is the domain. So first of all we name this function as f of x. F of x is equal to log of 1 plus x minus 2x upon 2 plus x. Increasing or decreasing case, so such problems, what we do, we find the derivative. So here f dash x is equal to log 1 upon 1 plus x, derivative is 1 upon 1 plus x, minus u upon v. What is the derivative? Denominator 2 plus x into derivative of 2x is 2, minus numerator which is 2x into derivative of denominator 2, derivative 0, x derivative is 1, whole divide denominator v whole square, v square, right? So this way we have 1 upon 1 plus x minus this becomes 4 plus 2x minus 2x divide 2 plus x whole square, right? Once again we solve this will come here, 2 2s are 4 plus 4x plus x square minus 2x cancelled, only minus 4 is there, minus 4 into this, minus 4 minus 4x whole divide 1 plus x into 2 plus x whole square. So from here we conclude plus 4 minus 4 cancelled, plus 4x minus 4x cancelled, only x square divide 1 plus x into 2 plus x whole square. Now what is the domain? Domain is x is greater than minus 1. This is the domain. So what we say, x square is greater than 0, first thing, greater than or equal to 0, number first. Second, what we can say from here, x plus 1 is greater than 0, that is denominator 1 plus x is greater than 0, number 2. Moreover, if we add one more, then 2 plus x is also greater than 0. Also 2 plus x whole square is also greater than 0, number 3. Mean to say denominator is not equal to 0, rather this is greater than 0. So what we say, this is greater than or equal to 0. So the conclusion, what we conclude, because f dash x is greater than or equal to 0 throughout its domain. So what we say, f of x is an increasing function of x throughout its domain. So this was our question number 3, very important question. Now next question, question number 4. A wire of 36 meter length is to be cut into two pieces. One of the pieces is to be made into a square and the other into a circle. What could be the length of two pieces so that combined area is minimum? First of all, suppose we have one wire. This is one wire. Okay, the length of this full wire is 36 meters, and suppose this is cut from here, and this first piece, the length is L1, suppose L. So what is the length of second piece? Of course this will be 36 minus L. Now suppose from first piece we are making square. This way the square is made from this wire with length L. So what is the length of the side? 4 equal sides. So length of one side will be L upon 4. L upon 4. This is the length of the side. Similarly, 36 minus L is the second length. So from this we are making the circle. This way, this is the circle. What is the meaning of this circle? Here the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r, becomes the length of the wire. This is equal to 36 minus L, right? So from here we can conclude the value of r is equal to 36 upon 36 minus L upon 2 pi, right? Now combined area should be minimum. Suppose combined area, what is the area of square plus area of circle? Combined area is equal to area of square plus area of circle. What is the formula for calculation of area of square? Side square. Side square. Similarly, area of circle is pi r square. Okay. So this way we consider combined area as we write here, A is equal to, side is L upon 4, its whole square, plus pi into, what is r? R is 36 minus L divide 2 pi, its whole square. In order to find the minimum area, we differentiate this function Here L is the variable with respect to L. So first order derivative of area, combined area is, we write it as derivative of area with respect to L. This is 2 into L upon 4 plus pi upon 2 pi whole square, that is 1 upon 4 pi. Okay, so here derivative will be into 2 into 36 minus L into again derivative of 36 minus L, which is equal to minus 1, right? So this is equal to 2L upon 4, that is L upon 2, plus 2 upon 4 pi is 1 upon 2 pi, and this is minus 36 plus L. Now taking LCM, we have L into pi minus 36 plus L divide 2 pi. Okay, from here we put dA upon dL equal to 0 in order to find the critical points, that is the value of L. Now dA divide dL, if we put equal to 0, from this we get L is common, pi plus 1 upon 2 pi, this is equal to 36. So from here the value of L is 36 divide pi plus 1, right? Also if we find the second order derivative, that is d square A dl square, that is equal to L by 2 derivative is 1 upon 2, and here 36 0 plus L upon 2 pi, that is plus 1 upon 2 pi. So what is the conclusion? This is greater than 0. So second order derivative is greater than 0, it means area is minimum at L is equal to 36 upon pi plus 1. So we write here area is minimum at L is equal to 36 upon pi plus 1. So what could be the length of two pieces so that combined area is minimum? So length L value is this, and first value we write here 36 divide pi plus 1, and the second value, this is equal to 36 minus 36 upon pi plus 1. So these are the lengths of the two pieces. Okay, so this was question number 4. Now next question. So this was our question number 4. Now question number 5 is, show that the rectangle of maximum area that can be inscribed in a given circle of radius r is a square of side square root 2r. First of all, the circle is given. Okay, the radius of circle is r. First of all, we consider that rectangle is inscribed in the circle, and length of the rectangle is L, and breadth is B. Now joining these 2 points to say diagonal of the rectangle which passes through the center of the circle. This is the diagonal, and here this is the center of the circle. So radius of the circle is r, this is given, this is also r. So diagonal of the rectangle is 2r. Now because this is right angled triangle, so what we can say? Pythagoras theorem, that is length L square plus B square is equal to 2r whole square. Okay, now we are interested to find the area of the rectangle. Area of the rectangle is, suppose we name this as A, is equal to length into breadth. Okay, so there are two variables. From this relation we can take the value of one variable, that is, if we take here L square is equal to 4 R square minus B square. So here also, instead of taking the square root, we can square the area. We say a square is equal to L square into B square. So L square value we can substitute here. We write a square is equal to 4 into R square minus B square into B square. Right? Now this is understood that because circle is given, so R is constant. This is very important point. So now what we do, we simplify this. A square is equal to 4B square into R square, or we write it as 4R square into B square minus B raised to power 4. In order to find maximum or minimum, we find the derivative, double derivative test. Applying this, for our convenience, we can take the value of a square as s. So we are writing here derivative of s with respect to b is the variable. So this becomes 2 into 4, 8 r square into b minus 4b raised to power 3. Again, second order derivative d square s db square. Here this becomes 8r square minus 4 into 3, 12b square. Right? Now to find maximum or minimum value of the derivative of area, we put ds upon db equal to 0. For maximum or minimum value of area, put ds upon db equal to 0. That is, we put here 8r square b equal to 4b raised to power 3. Okay, from here b cannot be equal to 0, so we say b square is equal to 2r. So it means the value of b is square root of 2r. So this is what we wanted to prove. This was 8r square b. So 2r, r is outside. Right? Now if we substitute this value here in the relation, that is the value of L, then L square is equal to 4r square minus b square mean 2r square. So this becomes 2r square. That is, L square is 2r square, b square is also 2r square. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is length is equal to breadth. It means this is not a rectangle, this is a square. So this was the question. Show that rectangle of maximum area that can be inscribed in a given circle of radius r is a square of. Of course, we have solved the question. This is a square. Now next question. Now question number 6. Show that the semi-vertical angle of the right circular cone of maximum volume and of a given slant height is tangent inverse square root 2. What is this tangent inverse square root 2? Prove that. To prove semi-vertical angle is equal to tangent inverse square root 2. This is what here we are going to prove. Okay, so first of all, the right circular cone, this is the right circular cone. Okay, so here suppose this is the center of the base circle of this right circular cone, and this way joining we have, and this line. Suppose r is the radius of the base circle of the right circular cone, and h is the height and l is the slant height. Given slant height, it means l is constant. So l is equal to constant because this is given that slant height is given. So here we take semi-vertical angle. This is alpha. Also this maximum volume, from this word we find V, volume of the cone. The formula is 1 upon 3 pi r square h. Here we have two variables. From this condition we are going to reduce these two variables into one single variable. Because this is a right angled triangle, so again we can apply Pythagoras theorem. R square plus h square is equal to L square. So we can say the value of R square is equal to L square minus h square. So we substitute this value here now. So this V becomes 1 by 3 pi R square is L square minus h square into h. Again simplifying this, so we have V equal to pi into L square upon 3 minus pi into h square upon 3. Okay, moreover this h was there, so we multiply pi L square upon 3 into h minus pi upon 3 into h power 3. Okay, maximum volume in double derivative test on volume. First order derivative dv with respect to h, dh is equal to, firstly this is pi L square upon 3 minus 3 cancelled, pi h square. Here also we find second order derivative d square v upon dh square, right, which is equal to, this is constant, derivative is 0, so here minus 2 pi h. H is the length, so this cannot be negative, so mean to say second order derivative is less than 0. So second order derivative is less than 0, this implies volume is maximum at dv upon dh equal to 0. So from here dv upon dh equal to 0, if we substitute, then we have pi into h square is equal to pi L square upon 3, pi cancelled, so this implies h square, what we say h square upon L square is equal to 1 upon 3. Okay, further the conclusion is h upon L is equal to 1 upon square root of 3, right. So what we have, right angled triangle, this is h and this is L and this is R. H is 1, L is square root 3, then what is R? This is L square minus h square, square root 3 minus 1, which is equal to square root of 2. Okay, now what we say about tangent, therefore tangent alpha is equal to perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular is R and base is H. So here tangent alpha value R is equal to square root 2 and H is 1. So from here we conclude alpha is equal to tangent inverse square root 2. Question number 7. Show that the volume of the greatest cylinder, which can be inscribed in a cone of height h and semi-vertical angle theta, is 4 upon 27 pi h cube tangent square theta. First of all, we construct the cone. This is the cone. This is given. So it is given and cylinder is inscribed inside the cone. This way, the cylinder is inscribed inside the cone. Height of the cone is h. This is given. That is, this is constant. H height is constant. Semi-vertical angle theta. This is also given, so this is also constant. From this way, this angle is theta. This is called semi-vertical angle. Right? Now we join this side and this like this. Now we name this as A, B, C, D, E, F. Now we have to search the word with which we have to apply the double derivative test to find the maximum or minimum value. Here greatest word is written with volume of the cylinder. Volume of the cylinder. Right? So it means on volume of the cylinder we are going to apply double derivative test. So what is the formula? Volume of the cylinder, to say V is equal to, we know the formula is pi r square h, but the problem is h is the height of the cone, so we cannot take h. Okay, so we are changing the variables. Let r1 is the radius of the base cylinder, that is CD. Also this is equal to BF, and we take h1 as the height of the cylinder, that is BC, or to say FD. Right? Now volume of the cylinder becomes V is equal to pi r1 square into h1. Now we have two variables r1 and h1. With the help of the given condition, we have to reduce them into single one variable. Now consider the radius of the base circle of the cone to be equal to r. From this figure, this is clear that triangle ABF is similar to triangle ACE. So we can say AB divide AC equal to BF divide CE. Now what is AB? AB mean height of the cone, which is h, minus height of the cylinder, which is h1, divide what is AC? AC is the height of the cone, h, is equal to BF. BF is the radius of the cylinder, this is R1, divide CE. This is the radius of the base circle of cone, so this is R. Now this is understood that cone is given, so its dimensions are constant. Here R is constant, H is constant. So we write here R constant, H is also constant. From here we can conclude this is R1 equal to R into H minus R into H1 divide H, or we can say R1 is equal to R minus R upon H into H1, right? So this value we are going to insert here. V is equal to pi into R1 square. So this becomes R square minus 2 R square upon H into H1 plus R square upon H square into H1 square into this H1, again which can be written as pi R square into H1 minus 2 pi R square upon H into H1 square plus pi R square upon H square into H1 power 3. Now we shall find the derivative of this V dV with respect to H1, because only H1 is the variable. Earlier R1 and H1 they were the variable, now only H1 is the variable. Differentiating with respect to H1, this is pi into R square minus 2 into 2 4 pi R square upon H into H1 plus this will be 3 pi R square upon H square into H1 square. Again differentiating with respect to H1, we have d square V divide d H1 square is equal to, this is purely constant so 0, this becomes minus 4 pi R square upon H plus 3 into 2 6 pi R square upon H square into H1. Now for maximum or minimum value of volume, we put first order derivative of volume equal to 0. dV upon dH1 equal to 0, which gives, if we put this right hand side equal to 0, R square cannot be equal to 0. So pi we can eliminate this, pi R square is divided. So what we are left with, 1 minus 4 R square is cancelled, 4 upon H into H1 plus 3 pi R square cancelled upon H square into H1 square is equal to 0. This implies 3 upon 3 into H1 square upon H square minus 3H1 upon H minus H1 upon H plus 1 equal to 0. So here this is again equal to 3H1 upon H, taking this common we have H1 upon H minus 1, again minus 1 taken outside, so H1 upon H minus 1 equal to 0. So again this implies 3H1 upon H minus 1 into H1 upon H minus 1 equal to 0, right? Now this second factor is rejected. This is rejected as this gives us H1 equal to H. So H1 cannot be equal to H. So this is selected. First factor. This gives us H1 is equal to H divide 3. Now we substitute this value H1 equal to H divide 3 here. So R1 becomes R minus R upon H. H1 value is H upon 3. H cancelled. So we have this is equal to 3R minus 1R. 2R divide 3. Now what is the volume? This is the volume. We put the value of H1 here. V is equal to pi R square H1. H1 value H upon 3. So this becomes pi R square H divide 3. Next term is minus 2 pi R square upon H into H1 square. So this becomes 2 pi R square upon H. H1 square mean H square upon 9. Last term is this pi R square upon H square into H1 cube. So this becomes pi R square upon H square into H cube upon 27. But we have to prove that the volume is 4 upon 27 pi H cube tangent square theta. So what is tangent theta here? Perpendicular upon base is tangent theta. So we write tangent theta is equal to R is perpendicular, divide perpendicular base is H. So for this purpose what we do here, R square is given, we divide by H square and multiply by H square, so this becomes H power 3. Here this is R square, we have H, we need one H in the denominator, so this becomes cube. Here R square upon H square is okay. Now R square upon H square, R square upon H square, R square upon H square, that is tangent square theta is common. H cube, H cube, H cube is common. Pi, pi, pi is common. 27 is LCM. So volume V is equal to, we take 27 as LCM, pi H cube is taken outside. R square upon H square mean tangent square theta. Now what we are left with? 3. 27 was LCM, so multiplying with 9 minus, here 9 into 3 is required, 3 into 2 6 plus 1 plus 1. So this was H cube was common taken outside, H cube. 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 minus 6 is 4. So what is the meaning of this? So this gives us volume of the cylinder is equal to 4 upon 27 pi H cube tangent square theta. So this was what we had to prove, hence the result. To the board exams point of view, this question is very important. So once again, question number 7, do this very carefully.